right, 10 a.m. here in Spain. Welcome to this webinar. My name is Alfonso Solac. I'm civil engineer from the Department of Software Development of CYPE. During this journey, we'll be doing our last webinar that is inside of these workshops, this series of workshops about design and analysis of steel and RCC structures using our tools. Actually, as you can see here in our calendar, we are talking about the generation of views of quantities and quantities takeoffs based on the previous structural models that we have been developing during the previous sessions. Okay. My intention here today is share some options that you have using our tools. This is a sometimes could be a very complex theme because we have too many details to analyze. So I will show some workflows that you can adopt. And from a simple workflow, just using one unique tool, and then other workflows that are a little bit more complex, using even models that can came from other softwares like Autodesk Revit or maybe Tekla structures, using BIM models to generate these takeoffs and these budgets. Okay, so actually the main program that we have, it's called Archimedes. That is the name of the scientist, that famous scientist. Okay, we will start working with that software. When we install our suite of programs, so the CYPE menu, as we usually say here. Okay, we have this situation here. We have this package of tools. Okay, and Archimedes it's in this part, the green tab, the management tab is the first software here. Okay, and it's a software where we can create our views of quantities, certifications, and specifications. We can generate the measurements based on DXF files or DWG files, or even connect with Autodesk Revit or other BIM models to extract the quantities from these models and then correlate these quantities with the concepts from a price bank, for example, to create a budget of our projects. Okay, so just to start, I would like to say that if you have any doubts, any questions, if you want to use the chat box that you have on the GoToWebinar tool, in the end of this presentation, I'll try to answer most of them, or if what is possible in the time that we have. Okay, and I'll try just to maintain the presentation continuously until the end, and then we stop in the end for 10 or 15 minutes to answer these questions. Okay. So I'll open here Archimedes. Actually, I already have it open. So this is the main menu of the program. We have here the option of to be creating some budgets, create a price bank. We can set up our work areas. We have some examples and even the connection with our cloud platform, BIMserver.center, where we can send information from this software to other software, to other professionals that are working in our projects. Okay. I will do a very simple example of a budget, a manual budget. Okay. Creating a new one. So to do that, I just have to create in this button here, create a new database or a new budget. Okay. And here I can choose between bill of quantities or price bank. Okay. So the difference between them is a price bank. It's a list of concepts that I can create during years of experience of my company. I can add more and more concepts on this price bank. And then I can use these concepts from a price bank in a bill of quantities, associating a quantity to these concepts, so to the concepts that are inside of this list. Okay, I'll create the first one. I think it's going to be interesting to show both of these options that we have. Okay, And here we have to set up some information about this budget, okay, or this view of quantities, depending on the region that are you located now. So we can create here a name for this budget, name of the budget, for example. Then we can add a description. We can establish a default price bank, so we can create this price bank before using the same tool and use as the concepts that we will use in this budget could be coming from this price bank. Okay, so I have one here, a very simple one, actually just made with structural elements. So I will connect this price bank, then I will show you how you can generate one of these price banks too. And then we can set up some information about the project type, if it's public or private, or if it's or the decimals of this project, the percentage. We can add some text if it's necessary. Here we can add some information about the project, as its location, the title of the signatories, and the currency of this project. For example, here we could be working in dollars, euro, maybe all the currencies that we could have. Okay, and then we can accept. And here we have any other information that we can add to our budget. In this case, copying this information from our price bank. Okay, I will maintain this setup, and then we will open this environment here. This is the as how can I say, it's maybe it's the part of the program that we will have more contact. We will be working here in this environment. Actually, at this moment, I have two projects open, so two different budgets that I have open here in Archimedes. I can change from one budget to another, and I can even open both of them doing like this. So open the vertical window with this setup. Okay. I'll close this one. I'll maintain just this new budget that we just have created. Okay. And the idea here is to create a kind of structure with folders and subfolders. And inside of these folders, we can add the concepts that we will have in our budget or our view of quantities. Okay. So for example, let's imagine that we can have a chapter in our view of quantities. For example, a chapter that is structures. For example, we add a code for this chapter, and they will say that these are the structures. Structures here. Okay. We can add a description too. Okay. Then we can have another one, like, I don't know, facades, for example. We can do that. Then we can have something for, I don't know, we can have all the chapters that we will need in our budget. Okay. And inside of one of these chapters, we can start adding the concepts that we could have in our view of quantities. Okay. Just double clicking here in this icon, we open this menu that is the menu of selection of concepts, and from here we can search one concept that we previous created and save it in a database. Okay, we can select this database. For example, the database that I've just loaded before, that one that is made just of structural elements. And using this part of this menu, I can search for elements that I have in this database. Okay, so I know a little bit how this database is created, so I remember some words that I have inside of this database. For example, I can search for a fragment of a text with the word concrete, for example. If I click here, I can find inside of this concept a code, a concept, which is about a reinforced concrete strap beam. Okay, I can go navigating between this concept, so I can see here other concepts related to the word concrete. Okay, reinforced concrete footings. Here we have the formwork. Here we have the square section column. Okay, I can see the code of this price bank. I can see a summary, a description. I can see the price of this this concept. Okay, and when I find the concept that I'm looking for, I can just accept, and I will add this concept into our chapter here inside of the view of quantities. Okay, if I double click here, I can see the information that is inside of this concept. So we have here some materials, some workers that are inside of this concept. Okay, we have here some quantities that we can edit in all time. We can change it. Even this information we can change it. The codes we can change it. It's just a code that I created before inside of my price bank. Okay, another option that we can have here is to create a concept. Maybe we don't have this price bank, or we don't have the concept that we are looking for in a price bank that we have. So we can create a new concept, and here it's totally it's a blank option where we can add more information. So let's suppose that I will create a new concept, which the unit is I don't know, cubic meter, for example, and for example, this is the summary of a new concept. Okay, just to be very easy to understand. And here we can add the description of a new concept. Okay, and I can select if this is a sub work section, or it's a job item with a breakdown, or just a job item without a breakdown. Okay, so we have some options here. For example, the job item probably would be the most useful. Here I just created this one, and I don't have the breakdown of this job item yet. I could maintain this job item without a breakdown, just a simple concept, or even add some materials, workers, even some machines inside of this concept. Just in this case, clicking on yes, and I can add here, for example, other information that I have in my price bank, or even create a material, for example. Let's suppose that I would like to add the material concrete inside of this concept. Okay, I can choose here, for example, just for materials, and work for look again for concrete, for example. And here I have it's just a different type of code. I know that is the material concrete, is not the concept concrete. Okay, so I can navigate again, and here I have some joists that are material shoe, other kind of joists. Here we have the concrete curing liquid. Here I have a kind of concrete. Let's suppose this is the material that we are looking for. We can accept, and here we can define the quantity of concrete inside of this concept. For example, let's suppose that is I don't know, 1 cubic meter. Okay, and we just created a new concept. In this case, we have a concept with a code, a summary, and one material inside, that is the concrete that we got from our database. Okay, so it's just we'd like to show just this part, just to show how we can work with this tool. Actually, in just 1 hour or maybe 1 hour and a half is we don't have time to show all the options that we have to create these budgets here in Archimedes. I'll try to show some workflows, as I said before. And I think the first workflow that we can have is just define the quantities of these concepts manually. So I could say that in my project I have, I don't know, 20 cubic square meters of reinforced concrete structure, for example. It's the easiest way to create a budget. Is the manual way. Okay, so I just have to add here some values here. Okay, 20, and then I'll have the results. Okay. There's another way. For example, let me open a new view of quantities here that is a little bit more developed. That's going to be easier. So let me see here if I have it. I think I saved something on my desktop before. Let me see. So yes, I have here something. This is another view of quantities. Okay. And there's an interesting way to create these quantities that is not just add a number here. We can add a table, for example, and create a detail. So in this case, we have some concepts. For example, I don't know, this one, reinforced concrete beam. Okay. The total of cubic meters of reinforced concrete beam, it's actually separated in 4 sections. So that are identified with these codes here. And we have here 2 units that is multiplied by this length. Okay, so we have a kind of a little table here that we can create these formulas and have more details about our quantities. Okay. And we can also, for example, take this information from a DWG or a DXF file. So, for example, let's suppose that this link, I would like to take it from a CAD file, okay? So I have one option here that is quantities using DXF and DWG. I can open it here. I have this other menu. I will maximize here. And I can load a template here. For example, I think I have a structure here. I have this little structure here. I can activate and deactivate some layers here. Okay, so maybe we have too many information in our project, so we can activate and activate information here. We can also, for example, change the scale or the origin of our project here. And once we set up these first steps, we just accept, okay? And then we can use this DWG file as our reference to create the quantities of some parts of our budget, okay? For example, we were talking about beams. So we can measure the length of a beam using this linear length tool that we have here. So I just have to press it here and then draw a line here. I can even put it here in some captures, but I'll do like here. So for example, very fast, but it's okay. Then we can add another one, like here, for example. I'll press again. So then we can add here. Then we can press again. Just very fast way, okay? Not so precise, could be more precise, but I just would like to do something here. So I have here 3 meters. We can see the results here, almost 15 meters, okay? So we have here. And then when we close this window, actually we have here this information, so we got this information from the drawing that we made before. So it's a very easy way to connect our DWG file with our budget. We can do the same thing for other kind of numbers. For example, let me see here if we have something for square meters. For example, this one is square meters of slab. No, this is. Let me see if we have one. This is for example, let's suppose this one is for a slab, although it's not exactly a slab, but just to show another tool, we can add some information using the same DWG file, just using one of these tools here. For example, we can create this area, then this area. Okay, we are creating the lines of our table, the details of our quantities, so we can create this kind of measures. Okay, So we have this information here. Okay, this is the second way that we can have to create our view of quantities. Okay, as you see, we increased a little bit in our in the complexity of our tools. We are using more tools from the software, but actually we are adding more information to this budget control, because now we are connected to a DWG file or a DXF file. Okay. A next level that we could have for automate a little bit more our generation of this view of quantities would be, for example, taking the information from CYPE. CYPE is our software to the structural calculation of reinforced concrete or some kind of steel concrete and steel structures too. We can get the information from that software and export or automatically export to Quantities. That is the software we are talking today, and get the information automatically from that calculus or that structural calculus. Okay. Actually, this option I'll show you. We don't have it actually for all the countries that we work. So we have for some countries. Unfortunately, we don't have any options at this moment in English for that. I think we have in French, in Portuguese, and in Spanish. So I will show you just a very fast example of that. Actually, I have here open. So I have no, must be the Spanish version. Just a second. So here I have something. Let's open here. It's a quite an interesting way. Let me open here. So maybe you have been in our last sections, and during the last sections we have been calculating this kind of structures or other some footing, some steel structures too. Okay, and once I have calculated these structures here in CyPE, I have an option that is export the volumes and the quantities of this structure to Archimedes. So I can set up some informations about the environment of this project and define if we have the formwork in the foundations, for example, the footings, even on the columns and beams. Okay, and then automatically the software will take this information from the geometry of this structure, and also combine with the results of the structural calculation. Okay, so for example, to the steel quantities, that's very interesting. So I'll export that, and we have the budget of this chapter. So the chapter of foundations and the chapter of structure. Okay, so we have here the columns, the beams, the slabs. Okay, so we have also this information, and all these quantities are defined in the structural calculation, in the structural model. Okay, so we just got that information and use it to generate these quantities and associate then these quantities with the concept that we already have on Archimedes. Okay. There are other ways we are increasing in our level of automation of our budget control. For example, maybe we can use a model that is not necessarily made with a tool made by CYPE. For example, using Tekla or Revit or any other IFC file. Actually, we can use any IFC file and use this information from this BIM model to generate these quantities and then associate to a concept. Okay. To do that, I have to present you something new. Actually, we have this tool. I think we have 2 months that we published this tool. probably when we announced these webinars, this tool wasn't available yet. So actually, in the name of this seminar, we were not planning to show this tool yet, but the tool is now available. So I think it's related to the webinar of today, and I'll show you. So actually, we can access this platform. It's let me close here. So it's called BIMserver.center. Okay, I will just copy this information in the chat. You can have this link. Okay. So just a second here. I will. You have this link on the chat. You can access this platform. The platform is available in so many languages here. So even in English, in French, in Spanish, Portuguese. Okay. And the idea here is it's a cloud server where we can connect our projects. For example, the architectural project can be connected with the structural project that can be connected with this view of quantities, for example, and can be different persons. You don't have to be the same person working in this project. We can be a multi-collaborative workflow. Okay. And here inside of this platform, we have a lot of tools. One of them here in the store, let me change for English here. Okay, it's gonna be better. We have tools for many categories for HVAC installations, structural analysis, 3D design, architectural elements, fire protection, and we have some information, some softwares to views of quantities. Okay. And the software I was talking before, that is a new release of CYPE, is this one. It's called OpenBIM Quantities. Okay, so we are using OpenBIM technology. We are using just open formats or open standards to reach a high level of interoperability between the tools or our tools and the tools from other software developers. So it's why this application is called OpenBIM Quantities. So we will use this software to extract the quantities from a BIM model that is made, for example, in IFC, and then generate our view of quantities. So this is the idea of this software. Okay. We can use this software together with Archimedes if you want. So we have some workflows that we can use both of them. Okay. And I will do a very simple example. Okay. So now I have this model here. Actually, it's one of the samples that Revit have in their own library of examples. It's a structural model made in Autodesk Revit. These elements are made as structural elements, so they have this property. Okay. And inside of this store, we also have a plugin. So we have this plugin here. It's the plugin OpenBIM Revit. You can download it for free and install in your computer. And when you install this plugin, you get this option here in the add-ins of Revit, for example. You will have this button that is the OpenBIM collaboration, where you can synchronize this model created in Revit to this cloud server. And from this cloud server, you can open this IFC file in other applications. Okay, so we will do that. This other application will be OpenBIM Quantities. So I'll run the software here. So let's open OpenBIM Quantities. Just a second here. So I'm logging in with my account, my BIMserver.center account here in OpenBIM Quantities. Okay. Then I'll just create a new file here. For example, it's going to be the example using a Revit model. Okay. And then we can select from our account inside of BIMserver.center which project we would like to link, okay, or even create a new project if you want. So I will select a project that I created before that was previously synchronized, sending that information from Revit to the cloud, okay. So I called that project technical school structural. Okay, so it's this project here. I'll select it and I'll accept. Okay, so inside of this folder in the cloud, we have one IFC file. It was one IFC created with Autodesk Revit 2020. So the project is the structural project, okay? And I will import this information. We could have here many IFC files from different applications, okay? We have this option too. At this moment, I have just this one. I will accept this information, and OpenBIM Quantities is loading the information, okay? Okay, so as you can see here, I have this IFC file now imported into OpenBIM Quantities. And as I said before, our intention here is to correlate the quantities from the entities that we have in that BIM model with the concepts that we can have in a price bank. Okay, so the quantities that we have in the BIM model, actually we already have, because we've just imported the geometry here, the BIM model here. Okay, but now we have to add some add a price bank or some concepts to the software. So it's the first button that we have here, add a price bank. I'll load a new price bank. So I'll create here a new price bank, and I will import a price bank for Archimedes in this case, already created before this price bank. Let's open it. Some more, some price bank I have here. Let me see. Budget control, I don't have it here. Okay, actually I have to export from Archimedes before. Let me do that. I'll open Archimedes again. Just a second, because I didn't save it that price bank. Let's open Archimedes again. So we're here in management, Archimedes. Let's open it. Come on. Maybe I have too many tools open running my computer at this moment. But actually, I was looking here. I have another price bank that I have in English here. I didn't remember this one. No, I think it's not completed. No, it's not completed. Let's open Archimedes. It's gonna be better. Just a second. Let me try again. Okay, so here we have our budget that we have been working before. Okay, we can export this information as a price bank or as a budget, and actually we use one option that we have here, that is export, and use this format here. It's the format BC3. Okay, so it's a standard. It's an open format like IFC is for BIM models. We have the same kind of formats, open formats to view of quantities, okay, or quantities takeoffs. So I will export this database. I'll just select a folder here in my computer. So for example, budget control, the extension is point .bc3, okay? So it's a BC3 file. I will accept it and export this information. And now from OpenBIM Quantities, I can add a new price bank, import a BC3 file. I'll look for that folder. Let me see. So it was here, budget control. So I have this information here, and I will define a name. So our new price bank, okay, for example. So it's finished. We have the information here, and the same information that was here in Archimedes, we already have now in OpenBIM quantities. Okay, so we have our price banks, and as I said before, now we have to create some measurement criteria associating the information from the BIM model with these concepts that are in our price banks. So inside of this BIM model, we have some IVC entities. They are all with this red signal here. It means that these information are not connected yet. So we didn't define this association between these elements yet. For example, if we open here, we can see that, let's put this in a transparent view. It's going to be better to see. So for example, this list of elements are exactly the elements that we have in our model. So we can see the orange points in the model. Okay, let's look for a big one here. Let me see, for example, here, this is a good one. So we have this floor that is a concrete deck. This is the name that we created in Autodesk Revit, for example. And so here we have another one, here we have another one, okay? And the idea is to use the parameters that we got from this IFC to generate these quantities, okay? So for example, to this floor or this slab, we have here some quantities that are available. We can use, for example, the gross area of this floor. We can use the net area. We can use the net volume. We can use the perimeter, depending on the information that we want to correlate with this geometry. Okay, let's suppose that we would want to correlate the volume of concrete that we have in this slab. Okay, we have to create a measurement criteria. Okay, so I'll create here a measurement criteria, and before doing that, I have to create a structure for this measurement criteria that I will have in my budgets. Okay, let me show something before. This price bank that we just loaded have a structure that is one chapter that is with a code that is C, and then it's called foundations. Okay, then we have some folders inside that are CR, CS, CA. Then here we have EA, EH. Okay, so we must create a structure like this. Okay, so in that case, we will create a structure, okay, and of reinforced concrete. Could be the same code that we have here, EH, for example, reinforced concrete, okay. So I will do the same thing in the criteria. So let's go back there. So here I will create a new one. I will call it, this is my criteria, for example, my measurement criteria. Okay, it's going to be empty, and inside of this list of measurement criteria, I will add a new chapter. For example, a chapter which the code is E, and the name of the chapter is structures, for example. And inside of this one, I will add a new subchapter. Okay, so would be, for example, EH RCC. Okay, so, or reinforced concrete structures, for example. Okay, okay, so inside of this point that will be the chapter of our bill of quantities in the end of the process, I will add some measurement rules. For example, one rule could be for the slabs. Okay, I'll create here to the slabs. And when we create these measurement rules, we have to select information from the model. We said that would be the volume of the slabs, and then add some job units. It means some concepts from the bank price. Okay. So first, the selection. I will create here a new selection, and then I will specify a parameter that is previously created by the program that generated this IFC. In this case, it was Autodesk Revit. Okay, this parameter will be inside of a group of parameters. Okay, and it will be a type of parameter. Okay, actually, I don't know too much about these IFCs because I'm not so expert on IFCs. No problem here, because actually we have this little blue symbol here that can help us to define this group and this parameter. We just have to click here, and we have some information from the BIM model from this IFC that were generated. Okay, so if you know a little bit more about IFCs, you understand with no problems this part. But if you are starting in this world of OpenBIM, maybe it could be a little bit complicated when you start. But for example, there is a nice parameter in IFCs that is called type name. Okay, so actually is the name of the object, or the name of the type, as we say in a BIM model. That was defined in this case in Autodesk Revit. We can use, for example, this parameter to filter the information that we are getting from the IFC file. Okay, so I will select this parameter, for example, and when this parameter type name is equals to a value that I will define here, for example, the value could be the floors that were named as generic 300 millimeters. That was the name of that slab that we said before. We'll select that object, that element. Okay, so I will set here. So we have this selection we already have here. We could, for example, combine more selections, adding other elements here, and using this logical operator, like the first one and the second one, or this first one or the second one. We could have a selection of a combination of selections here. Okay. And now we have to add our concepts that we have in our price bank. Okay, so we'll add here. We can open our price bank just clicking on this button here. Actually, I have a lot of price banks inside of OpenBIM Quantities in this moment. The last one that we created was this one, our new price bank. I will select this one, and I have the structure of that price bank available, and I can navigate inside of this price bank here. Okay, for example, we were talking about concrete slabs. Okay, so I have one concept here that is a concrete slab. So it's a one-way floor slab actually. So we have all the information about this slab that was previously created. We also can see the materials that we have inside of this concept here. Okay, we have here the information about the workers, the assistants, all the informations, and even the texts that we have in this concept. And I just have to put it in this point here. I can, for example, click here on assign, and I will add this information in this panel. So exactly the same information that I have here. The work session, it was EH, okay, like here. Then the code was this code, the unit, and the reference that is here, okay? And now I have to create a formula, because if you remember, when we selected the first time the slab, we had the perimeter, the net area, the volume. So we have many parameters, and we have to set up this parameter, choose one of these parameters. So here is like a little table where we have some cells, and we can create a formula with these cells. So, for example, in the first the cell B, I add a parameter that could be, for example, the volume of the grass volume of this slabs, okay? But could be any other, or the net volume, okay? So in this case, they are the same because we don't have any aperture in our slab, okay? But they could be different. So I will add here the net volume, and then I will say that the formula is just B, okay? So we have this option. Another option that we could have is take not the volume, take the gross area, for example, and then here on C, we can get the width, okay? And then we can say that our formula is B per C, okay? So we can create this kind of formulas and even multiplicating by other numbers here. So we can create this combination of parameters. Some IFCs don't have all the information as we really use. So sometimes we have to manipulate this data that is coming from these IFCs. It depends on how this IFC was generated. Okay. But sometimes the IFC structure is quite good, and we have the parameter that we need, as is this case, the net volume, for example, and we just have to do something like that. Okay. When we accept, we've had finished this step of creating the correlation between our element in the BIM model and the concept in our price bank. We can accept again, and actually, this is one of my measurement criteria that we have created, and actually we can keep using in other projects, not just in this budget that we are generating now. Okay, nice. So this was the first tab here, the quantities of the BIM models. But actually, we wanna generate the view of quantities. Okay, so we'll go to the second tab here. We have something similar here. We can see actually our B model here too. Okay, we have here some filters that we can put it on transparent, for example, habilitating these layers of visibility layers that we have here. Okay, we can define some general data like the currency, the decimals, some percentage that we can add here. We can update our price bank if we wanna. We can update from here. This price bank, actually, we can edit directly from here. If you wanna add a new chapter, add a new reference, delete something, or import any other information, export this price bank. Okay, so we have this option too. And we can add some coefficients to our prices. So we can add some coefficients to any chapter of our view of quantities, or to the machinery of our view of quantities. So we can add this kind of create this price adaptation. Okay, and then when after setting up this kind of information, we just have to update the quantities using this button here. Okay, select the price bank that we want to use to generate this budget. So I will use this one that we just uploaded, just imported. It was our new price bank. I will accept that. We also can create here apply an exchange rate if you wanna apply this exchange rate, or I will maintain that. And what we have is here is this kind of results here. So that information that was already correlated with the BIM model, the quantity was automatically extracted, and with the price that came from our price bank, we reached this result, the cost, the amount of this reinforced concrete slab in this case. Okay, so we can have this process as many times as we need to finish our BIM model and finishing our view of quantities. And if we come back here, we can see that somewhere here, these guys that are already correlated are, this one is green. So we can see this is a kind of checklist. We can see all those that are green. They are already correlated with a concept of our bank price, price bank. So in the end of this budget, we have to have all these signals here in green. Okay. Once we finish this task, we can generate some budget reports here. So we can generate just the takeoff or the price justification or the bill of quantities. So we have some reports here. We can add a name for this report, and we'll see this kind of reports here. We can print this information in export to different formats here. We can also export this bill of quantities from here and open, for example, again in Archimedes or other budget software or project management software. Okay, and that's the system that we have to read this information, these quantities that are in the geometry of our BIM models, and use this information to generate our bill of quantities. Okay. Actually, maybe we can do another example using this tool too, just to change, for example, from Revit to another model. Let me see if we have something interesting. And I can also show you a little bit about the platform, the BIMserver.center platform, that was the bridge between those softwares. Okay, so let me change it for English. That's in Spanish now. Just a second here. I'll put it on English. It's going to be easier. So here, let me accept. Okay. So when after logging in this platform, and this is the main menu that we have inside of the platform. So we have 4 main areas. One of them is the projects area, where we can navigate between our projects. Then we have a contacts area. Actually, it's a kind of social media of the BIM world. Let's say that you can add other contacts and interact with them and working in projects with these contacts. Okay. For example, here we can see that I received some collaborations to work in some projects, or someone that want to work in my projects, and we can manage these collaborations in these menus here. We can see the last applications that I've downloaded from the platform. So OpenBIM Quantities was downloaded this morning. Okay. And for example, if I come here on projects, actually it's the same that I click here. I can see a list of projects that I have been working using this technology, not just for view of quantities or structural calculations, but for other projects that I'm doing at this moment. Okay, and I have a kind of library of projects here, so I have a lot of them here, and I can create some tags to this projects, because maybe in a certain point there are too many projects, so I create some tags here, and I have one. Let me see here that I created just for models that came from SketchUp or Revit or Outline, ArchiCAD, Tekla. Okay, and I think this example here, it's related to the subject of the webinar of this series of structural calculation. In one of them, we have been talking about steel structures. So I have this tower that was made in Tekla structures. It's already uploaded to the platform. Okay, let's just take a look on that when it finish loading. This is the dashboard of our project. So we have here, we can see the activity of this project. It's actually with no activity because it was from the end of the last year that I have been working uploading this file. We have here some alerts that we can receive from other members of the project. We can receive some recommendations. We can see the files that we have in the project. We can see the work team or even the history of this project, okay? And we can see here 3D view of the model at this case. So is this mechanical structure here? It's a kind of tower for, actually, I don't know exactly which was the final destination of this structure, okay? But let's do a very simple example, trying to discover how many kilograms of steel we can have in one of these elements here, and try to associate some price to these members or these elements of the structure. And I will use open bin quantities again, okay? So how I'll do that? I will create a new project. I'll save this one. So this new, it's gonna be new steel, for example. And to select this project, what was the name of this project? It was called Tower Beam Vision. Okay, so it's an example of one of the software that we have in the platform. And I am working with I have to work with a complementary tool that is called BIMserver.center Sync. I will show you how to download it. It's a free tool. Okay, this application will connect the server that is on the cloud with our local software. Okay, so at this case, I will use this information that is in the cloud at this moment and send it to my local computer or my local folder in my computer and use it to connect with OpenBin Quantities. Okay, so here I can see a list of the projects that I have synchronized in this computer that I'm working now. I can click here and I can select from all those projects that I have on my account on the cloud. So I selected some of them, and this application will download this information to a common local folder that I have in my computer. And I have this project selected here, okay? And then I will be able to select the information from each one of the softwares and bring this information to the software I will work, okay? So let's select this one, that is the Tower of Beam Vision. I can search for some information here. So it was Tower, I think it was Tower, the name. Let's go, Tower, ETAPS Tower Beam Vision. Okay, so we have this information here. Okay, I will select, accept this one, accept. So we are linked with BIMserver.center in a project that is named Tower Beam Vision. Okay, let's wait it load. And then here in this project, we have a file that was made with Tekla structures. Okay, I will import this information. Let's wait a little bit until it loads. Just would like to show you that we can see the files that we have here. Clicking on this tab, so we can see that we just have one file at this project. But if we go to another project, for example, let me open some other project that we have more files from different softwares. For example, one that is nice, for example, this could be this one. Okay, this one we are working in a team for it's a very big team. Actually, we are 13 or 14 members, okay? And we are creating this model. So each one is creating one of the layers or the IFCs that we have in this project. So we have here many IFCs. So the structure, the hydraulic systems, the electrical systems, HVAC systems, all the windows, all the furniture. We have all the information here. Okay, we can activate this information just clicking on this information here. For example, let me connect something here, like the furniture, for example, and also the, I don't know, maybe the structure, okay? And the architecture model, I will, so we can see this information here, okay? The architectural model, let me see if I have another one here that is interesting. Okay, it's okay, just this one, it's okay. Okay, and we can see here, for example, the work team. So it's a big team, so people from many countries working in the same project. Okay, we can define a role for this guy. So for example, in this case, I'm the owner of the project, but we have some guys that are moderators. They could be just invited to the project, or maybe some editors of the project. They have assigned areas. So this girl here, she's her responsibility is the 3D design of the model. Okay, and we can see these files. Okay, these files, these IFC files. So we have some files, these different files here. We can see, for example, in this view, it's very nice. We can see the different layers of information that we have in the project. For example, this layer have this size, and the owner is this guy here. So this layer is another guy with another engineer, that is another file. So we have the different files that together are this project. Let's say that, okay, even the structure from CYPE here, okay. And it was, if we synchronize this project now with OpenBIM Quantities, in that list where we checked the Tekla model, we will have all these files, and we could select which files we would synchronize with OpenBIM Quantities and extract the quantities. Okay, so we have this option. Let's see. Yes, we have this process finished here on OpenBIM Quantities. We already have our structure inside of the program. Let's wait here for the work environment that is finishing. So we have that structure here inside of OpenBIM Quantities. It's quite similar. The process is quite similar to the first one. And for example, you can see that we have a lot of elements here. Maybe it's not so simple, but let's select one of them. For example, a bin like this one. Okay, a bin, it will be probably inside of IFC bin entity. So we have here a lot of them. It's a lot of them. I will select just one of them. I don't know which one exactly it's gonna be, because there is a lot of them here. And we can see that inside of a bin, we have here other parameters. Inside of the quantities, we have in this case the length, the outer surface area, the net volume, and the net weight, for example. So in the slab that we made in the first example, that was generated with Autodesk Revit, the parameters were different. We here, for example, we don't have the perimeter, because it's a bin, so we have the length, not the perimeter. In that one, we don't have the slab. We didn't have the weight. We had just the volume. So it depends on the software that is generating this IFC file, and the type of element that we are talking about. Okay, so I can use this information to calculate all the weight of the bins that I can have in this model. So I will just do the same thing. I already have the price bank that I uploaded before. Okay, in this price bank, I have here maybe something about structural steel in kilograms. Yes, I have here. Yes, we have something here. So I will just create a measurement criteria. So I'll come here. Let me see just the code of the code. It's going to be EA steel, for example, EEA steel. So let's create here. inside of the my measurement criteria that we created before, look that we are in another project, in another budget, but the measurement criteria were saved. We can edit and change these measurement criteria at any time. Okay, so I will edit this one. We have that information from the first project. Here on these structures, I will create a new subfolder or subchapter. Okay, it's gonna be EA, and I will say that's steel, for example. And inside of this steel, I will create, for example, a new rule that I will call that they are the beams or the bars, for example. Okay. And inside of the bars, I will create a new selection. Uh, and let's try to use the same parameter. For example, type name that we said before. Okay, type name. So actually here I have more information. I have the type name, but I can try just name, for example. If I can filter by name, would be like all the parameters which the name is being, we can filter, for example, or all the type names that have this size, for example, this designation. Okay, we have a lot of options to filter here. Okay, so for example, by name, all the elements that are named as being, for example, I will select this one. If the condition is equals to, as I said before, being, for example. But I have other beans here. Okay, actually I can create another one that is actually the same, but not bean. The other beans, like the crown beans. Okay, then I will have both of them in the same selection. Okay, let's open here our price bank, and I will use this guy here that is steel in kilograms. So I will add this concept, and to create the takeoff, I will select a parameter. Actually, I don't have any parameter here because probably because I selected name, it was impossible to find the parameter weight if it's associated to name. Okay, so that's a point that we have to try to find the best parameter. So maybe we have to change something here, for example, using the type name. Let's try. It depends on the IFC structure. Okay, so the type name, for example, let's accept. Let's assign. And here I have other informations. For example, the the volume, the net area, the cross section, but I don't have the weight. Let me see again another option that we could have here. For example, let me see. Maybe there are some other parameters that could be interesting here. Let's search for something here. Actually, I'll try by entity, for example, if it's an IFC bean, for example. If all the IFC beans are the type of IFC bean, maybe we can have this information. Yes, here we have, for example, the parameter net weight. Okay, so we can use this entity IFC bean to filter our selection. Okay, to create our selection. So I would say this is B, as we used this cell. I will accept. I will accept. Okay. And if we close this part, let's wait the quantities here. You can see that there were a lot of IFC beans, okay, because they were inside of this category here, IFC bean. So all of them were selected and correlated to that concept that we selected from our price bank. Okay, so they are all green here. And if we go to the view of quantities now, we can just update the quantities here, use the price bank that we created, accept, and wait to have an idea about the price of this these bins in euros. Okay, just the bins. At this case, we'll have more elements that we have to create this association yet. Okay, if we open here, we can even select because they're too small. They are very small sessions, so it's not too easy to find them, but they are here. Okay, let's try to find something. It's huge, the list of elements that we just generated the takeoff. Okay, I will open the menu of questions. If you have any questions, this is the moment. Maybe we can try to solve some questions. Okay. Let me see. Maybe some guys said that in the start we had some audio problems. I think it was just one or two cases. Okay. Okay, Chris is asking how much the software costs. Okay, when we talk about open bin quantities, we can see these prices directly from the platform. Okay, let me open here. So just coming here on the main menu of BIMserver.center. Okay, you can come here on store and we can see the price. We can search for quantities here. Quantity. So we have it here, and it costs almost 400 euros. Okay, for Archimedes, we have another price list. Let me open here if I remember what is that. We can open on CYPE.com, for example, opening, I don't know, maybe for, I don't know, here for United Kingdom, for example. And then we can go on products. And here we can search, for example, for Archimedes. And we have different package of Archimedes. The cheapest one is around 119 euros. And we have the complete package, including open bin quantities. It's almost 1,000 euros. Okay, Chris? Okay. Pranet is asking how to get that. I don't know exactly what was your questions, Pranet. In which point of the presentation you said maybe if you can write a little bit more, I will try to answer your questions. Okay. Okay, maybe we don't have any other question. I thank you for your presence in this webinar. I hope it was you enjoyed this presentation. At any time, if you have any doubt, you can contact us using our contact forms that we have in CYPE.com. Okay, and follow us in our social media. It's just look for CYPE on YouTube or LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Okay, to be up to date about our new webinars and new products. Okay. Once again, I hope you have enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you see you in a next opportunity.